Welcome to another edition of the Will Be Blood Fight Show. I'm your host, Dave Duenas. I want to talk about Miguel Cotto's comeback fight. I made a list of 5 fighters that he should make a comeback with and the 5 fighters that he should not make a comeback with. Okay, my first guy on the list of where Cotto should make a comeback fight on with should be the candidate should be Luis Collazo. Being that he's really well respected in the boxing community, he's a good journeyman, very durable, tough guy, but not a really heavy-handed guy. Where Miguel Cotto will be able to show his boxing skills and use his legs and possibly even stop Luis. Okay. Luis gave Ricky Hatton a tough outing and stuff, but Ricky Hatton be a much smaller man than Miguel Cotto. So Miguel Cotto, I think, would not have a real easy win, but it allowed him to build confidence where it's needed. And since he's gonna be coming in there with some ifs and some ands walking into that match. Okay. The second guy that I would have to say that Miguel Cotto should step into as a comeback fight would have to be David Estrada. David Estrada is a well-known journeyman around the community of boxing already. He's already faced some pretty tough elite fighters, Sugar Shea Mosley, Kermit Cintrone, and his last outing was against Jesus Soto Caras. Okay, he got knocked out in that fight, but he was giving his share of punches, and he was making it a really exciting fight. With Miguel Cotto, he'd make it a really interesting and an exciting fight because he tries in every outing. He comes to fight every time he steps into the ring. And again, he's a light punching fighter where he's not going to be a tremendous threat to Miguel Cotto. Hopefully his chin is not damaged after the Margarito fight. But if it's not, he should be able to at least allow Miguel Cotto to gain back some confidence also, and where Miguel can show he's still got the boxing skills and he's still there to make his stamp into the boxing world. Okay. Now the third guy that I would have to say that he should step in the ring with, is a guy that's been having a good winning streak. Okay, is Jesus Soto Caras, who just beat David Estrada and beat him in a really good slugfest fight. It was a back and forth fight, but Jesus finally got the better of him and knocked him out. All right. With Miguel Cotto, it would be a great fight because Jesus is a lot slower. Footwork, hand speed, but he's a tough Mexican fighter. Not only that, it's a good psychological thing for Miguel to come in because facing Jesus Soto Caras, he's going to be also facing the trainer of Margarito, who trains Jesus also. So getting the win over Jesus can give him a little bit more of a mental edge, okay, where it makes him feel, okay, I'm coming back. I at least got a little piece back to show some pride, and I'm like, okay, this is where now I can move on. Okay, and that's what he really needs. So getting the win over him would be great, and I would have to say he would be the favorite in that fight. The next guy that I would have to say that he should step into the ring with is really a much smaller guy, but where it makes money, it makes a lot more sense. Let's say Miguel Cotto is really on the way out now. He's almost damaged goods. The punishment that he received on July 26th against Antonio Margarito has taken its toll, and he's not the same anymore. Let's just say that, okay? So why not give him a big money fight if this is going to be his last outing? If he's going to struggle with his comeback fight, his homecoming fight, okay? I would have to say put him in with Ricky Hatton. Maybe not starve him all the way down to 140, but let's make it a catchweight fight. There's all these other catchweight fights, why not give it to Miguel Cotto? Make it a catchweight fight. It'd be a big event for the UK, for Puerto Rico, even from Mexico and the States. He's got a lot of fans here, so it'd be a big mega event. Not a super fight, but an event. And Hatton showing he's almost out the door. His days are starting to end, pretty fast. That would be a great payday for Ricky Hatton too. Okay, so I would say put him in with Ricky Hatton, and I'm going to say he's going to beat Ricky Hatton. He's a harder puncher, he's got the better skills and stuff, but Ricky's going to give him a good run for his money, and Ricky's still got a little bit of feistiness in him, so it's a toss and turn type of fight, but I'm going to have to go with Miguel Cotto, and I think that would be a good comeback fight for him if he's looking for a big money fight, all right? The last guy I would probably put him in with is Kermit Cintrone. Kermit Citron being a big welterweight and a power puncher, and really had a devastating knockout to Margarito, but not as bad as Cotto. But still, he's got some issues with himself that he's got to deal with. He's got some demons in his head that he's got to face in the ring. So both two guys are not going to be mentally prepared, and with facing them both in there, one of them is going to probably have a little bit more of an edge, and it might be Miguel Cotto. He looks like he's more of a mental, he has a little bit more mental strength in the ring. He gave Margarito a tough fight. He didn't bend that easily to Margarito's will. Where Kermit Citron, he kind of did. You know, in the 6th round, he got dropped, and you could see it in his face. He was done. He didn't want to go through it anymore. Where Cotto took it and kept trying. Regardless of what was going on in the fight, he kept looking for an opening or a solution to stop Margarito. So facing him with Kermit Citron, I also think it's a great fight. Now, realistically, there's 3 categories for Miguel Cotto: his comeback fight, his fight that should be a little bit closer to fighting an elite fighter, and having those 3, I would really put Kermit Citron in the 2nd category, which is putting them in there with a guy that is a little bit closer to getting elite. And the reason is because Kermit's got such a powerful right punch, you know, straight cross. You know, the guy hits. He and a puncher always can get himself out of situations. And since we don't know how badly damaged Cotto is, it could be a problem. So I would make that in that 2nd category. Now, let's move on to the 5 guys that he shouldn't fight as a comeback fight. Okay, the first guy I would have to say is Paul Williams. Why put him in with a tall guy that just really walked away with his confidence really built up, blowing out Carlos Quintana in the 1st round? That to me would make no sense. Put him in there with a guy that mentally has a stronger edge and physically is a much bigger man than you, and is a pressure fighter also. He just doesn't box, you know. This guy will throw a lot of punches and flurries against you and can possibly make you look bad, especially if your confidence is not there, and or like I said, if he's got some little bit of if he's a damaged goods now, you know what I mean? Why put him in there with a bigger threat? I wouldn't do that, all right? Now, the 2nd guy I would have to say is Shane Mosley. A rematch with Shane Mosley right now makes no sense, okay? You don't want to throw him in with the Wolves. Mosley is still a very dangerous welterweight. 147, he's still very dangerous in that division. He can give any one of those top 5 guys a run for the money and possibly beat maybe 2 or 3 out of those top 5 guys in the welterweight division. Okay, so putting him in with Mosley right now, it's not a good confidence buildup. He's going to have a lot of problems with Mosley, so I'd avoid Mosley, you know, just for the long run. And Mosley's too, he's got his issues. He's got to face Margarito and see what happens with that fight, okay? Now, the other guy that I would avoid him facing would be Joshua Kalati, okay? Really, Joshua Kalati is a really tough journeyman. You know, the guy takes a good punch. He's physically strong. He just walks you down. He's a real small and slower version of Margarito, okay? He just walk him down, and I don't think that'd be good for Cotto. He needs somebody really that he can just take advantage of. And with Joshua Kalati, he's not going to be able to do that. So that's a bad fight for him as a comeback fight. Now, not the last fight. The 4th fight that I would not put him in the ring with is Zab Judah. That fight right there. Now, really, Zab is not a threat to Cotto, but to make a rematch with Zab Judah makes no sense. Why? Because really, I think Zab's strongest weight is 140. If Zab was to come back for another fight, I think he should go back to 140 where there's bigger fights where he could possibly challenge Ricky Hatton. Now, you're going to say, well, why not put Zab as one of the comeback fights for him instead of Ricky Hatton? Well, because money-wise, it makes more sense to face Ricky Hatton. You'll make a lot of money. With Zab, you're not going to make anything, okay? And really, what are you going to prove by beating Zab again when he just came off of a loss from Kalati? So that's a bad matchup for him. The other guy I would not put him in with right now is Andre Berto. Andre Berto right now, he just, from a prospect, he just beat Mickey Rodriguez and got the vacant championship. I think it was WBA or something. And now his confidence is really high right now, okay? This guy is fast, strong. He's got a good punch. He throws a lot of flurries and combinations. it'd be a bad matchup for Cotto right now. And really, why would you want to put him in with a guy right now that's looking to be one of the top 5 in the welterweight division? You know, he's climbing up the ladder. I'm not going to say he's one of the best in the welterweight division. He's still got a lot to prove himself, Andre Berto. But Cotto has a lot more to prove than Andre right now. Where is the state of Cotto is at right now? Chin-wise, mentally-wise, physically-wise, can he rebound from that loss from Margarito? So there's more at stake for Cotto to face Berto, you know, at this point. So those are the fights that I wouldn't do. Now, anyways, I hope you enjoyed my show. I hope you tune in for the next episode. And I'd like to hear back your feedback or your guys' top 5 of who you should face and who you shouldn't face, okay? Once again, I'm your host, Dave Duenas, and I'll come back with another episode soon.